What's going on YouTube? It's your boy CamATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you comment anything in the comment section and enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every week on this channel. If you haven't hit the little bell notification next to subscribe yet to let you know when I post, go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and get straight into this NFL first look lineup. I'm not going to waste too much of your time as I'm just going to go ahead and enter the lineup as we go through the positions. Make it real easy and simple, not take too much of your time, and have you set on the path to victory, if you know what I mean. Greenlightdfs.com to join the squad. Let's go ahead and get straight into this, man. At quarterback, my favorite quarterback. Before I get to my favorite, I'm going to skim guys. Patrick Mahomes against Arizona. He's not going to be required to throw too much. I really love Kareem Hunt in that. Aaron Rodgers against Miami. Same type of situation. It's not a game I'm very interested in, especially at that price at 6'4". Drew Brees at 6'3" can be used, but I prefer him at home, as you saw what he did last week at home. Matt Ryan against Cleveland is a decent option, but Cleveland's secondary isn't too bad. The best way to pick on them is through the run game. Jared Goff in this matchup against Seattle is another thing. I think the Rams get up in this one. I don't think Jared Goff is made to do too much, and I just prefer other options at a cheaper price. Tom Brady, again, don't love the matchup against Tennessee. It's not one that he's going to have to do a ton in. Phillip Rivers, I am very interested in here at Oakland, okay? He normally has done well versus Oakland. He's got a good little track record versus them. It's not like they have to travel far to go play them. He got 24 against them earlier this year, and then he got 30 against them at home in week 17 of last year. I love Phillip Rivers in this matchup at 6,000. I absolutely love him. Andy Dalton against Cincinnati is a solid option too. Against New Orleans is a solid option too. I'm a little worried about Andy though because AJ Green will be missing. His main target's going to be Tyler Boyd. We need to kind of see how that ends up going for Andy Dalton and how that affects him losing his number one receiver. But I'm going to lock in Ryan Fitzpatrick at 5'9". This guy should have been their starter no matter what. I don't care if Winston comes back looking like Superman. Fitzpatrick was looking like Superman's dad before Winston came back. Fitzpatrick was way too hot in the beginning for them to ever have taken him out. And then they saw what happened. They struggled. Okay? Fitzpatrick is back now. Dropped another 26 Draftkings points against Carolina last week, which is a solid defense. He's going to be throwing the ball a ton, man. And against Washington, a team that gave up 32 to Matt Ryan, they even gave up 22 to the horrible Dak Prescott. They gave up 30 to Breeze. I expect a big game from Ryan Fitzpatrick, and my favorite part about it is I expect it to be a close game, and I expect both sides to have to throw. So yes, I like Alex Smith as a cheap value at 5'3" as well on this slate. Baker Mayfield against Atlanta is a nice little option too, man. I'm very hesitant on pulling the trigger on Baker. I really am, because he just has a very low floor and not too high of a ceiling. So it's really like, do I really want to play this guy? But yeah, Alex Smith is a decent on the other side of that ball. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's just been playing too good as he's been starting. And one of my favorite value plays on the slate happens to be one of his receivers. So I like the fact that I can match them up as well. All right, let's go ahead and go to running back. Now, Todd Gurley against Seattle. If you have that money, why not? Okay, Seattle is a good matchup for him. He dominated them earlier this year. They're not the same defense we remember from last year. They give it up to the run, to the pass, everything really. It's a fine matchup. Melvin Gordon at 9,000. I'm not going to pay that much for Melvin when I can go 400 more for Todd. Alvin Kamara. This isn't really a game script that I think Kamara last week did so great, and I loved him so much last week, because they were going against the Rams, who, of course, the Rams are going to get up. Their offense is great. They're going to get up. New Orleans is going to have to consistently throw, and that's exactly what happened. New Orleans threw a lot in this game, okay, which helped Alvin Kamara. I don't think they have to against Cincinnati. That's what I'm worried about at that price tag. I'm going Kareem Hunt again, man. At home in Kansas City against an Arizona team who, one, bottom in the league versus the run. Two, they're going to get demolished at home in KC. So Kareem Hunt, he's just a very good cash game play. Very high floor. Also a very nice ceiling. I absolutely love Kareem Hunt at 8.5. Now, the next running back that I am going with on this slate is going to be Tevin Coleman at 5'4". Now, one thing we know about Cleveland is their secondary is solid, but you can definitely pick on them in the run game. Melvin Gordon got 38. James Conner got 41. Kareem Hunt got 33. Tevin Coleman is not as good as any three of those guys, but he showed last week that he can get into that end zone, and Atlanta can get him down into the red zone, give the ball to him, let him get into that end zone. And against Cleveland, he doesn't, it's going to be pretty easy for him to rack up points. And at 5'4", that's just too good of a price in a great matchup like this, and a solid total, which is over 27 points for Atlanta against this bad run defense. All right, let's go ahead and get into wide receivers. All right, now, first wide receiver I'm going with, I talked about Phillip Rivers. I love Keenan Allen, man. This guy gets a ton of targets every single game. He's got a very nice floor, and against Oakland, he's got a nice ceiling, okay? This guy got 37 in Week 17 last year. He got 17 earlier this year when he got 90 yards. I expect him to go over 100 in this one against Oakland. I love Keenan Allen. The Chargers are one of the highest point totals on this slate under KC. Expect Keenan Allen to be a big part of that at 7-1. I absolutely love my boy Keenan. Next up at wide receiver, my boy Julio. Now, I said that Cleveland's secondary is solid, but Julio Jones is another thing, okay? When it comes to cash games, there's only so safe you can go, and when it comes to Julio Jones, this dude's as safe as it can get, man. 14, 12, 10 targets the last 3 outings, over 100 yards the last 3 in a row outings. And at 8-3 against the Cleveland team that did give up 25 to Antonio Brown and 20 to Mike Evans, I expect a 20-plus outing pretty easily out of Julio here. And I had the money to go ahead and get him in here, so I love Julio Jones. Last but not least, I told you guys I had a value guy, one of my favorite value guys on the slate, to pair with my boy Ryan Fitzpatrick, and that's Adam Humphries. Man, Ryan Fitzpatrick is back, and he celebrated with a ton of targets to Adam Humphries. 8 targets to Adam Humphries this last game against Carolina. I expect that to continue. I absolutely love Humphries. Josh Norman will be on Mike Evans. That's going to open up Humphries to have a good game here. I love Adam Humphries here at 3.9. Lock in my boy Humphries. Favorite value at 3.9. I expect a big game here. Another great value on this slate is at tight end. We got Vernon Davis at 2.8 for Washington on the other side of this game. Now, I love picking tight ends against this Tampa Bay defense. They've been giving it up to tight ends, and this is a tight end that got 7 targets last week against Atlanta. This is the same type of matchup for him. I expect him to get a ton of targets here against the Tampa Bay team that will be scoring. Washington will have to throw, and I like the run back for him with Fitzpatrick and Humphries. So Vernon Davis at 2.8 is too cheap in this matchup. He's getting targets. I love my boy Vernon at 2.8. In the flex position, finally, my boy got some targets in the pass game because he's a beast. Duke Johnson Jr. at 4.7. This dude, man, if they finally realized, let's line him up like a receiver and see what we can do with him. Finally, they got a new coach with some sense. And immediately, this coach made a change on this offense and made sure that Duke Johnson was involved. I love it. Going against Atlanta, it's perfect timing for him to finally get himself together. Duke got 9 targets, 9 receptions, and 78 reception yards and 2 touchdowns last weekend. Okay, expect a big game here from him against an Atlanta team that already gives up a ton of pass-catching backs. And finally, this new coach is lining up Duke Johnson in the slot, letting him run around. I love Duke Johnson, and I love the fact that they're finally utilizing him. I had big hopes for him this year, and the coach just could not get it right. Finally, this new guy came in and finally put good use to him, okay? All right. And the Jets are the defense I'm going with. No need to even explain it. We're picking on Buffalo always and often. At home in New York. Absolutely love the New York Jets. And that's about it, guys. That's it, man. That's my first look. That's what I'm loving for this slate. This is my first look lineup. I'm loving Ryan Fitzpatrick in what should be a shootout between Washington and Tampa Bay. Kareem Hunt easily should get 20-plus carries. Easy, get in the end zone a few times. I'm thinking 25 is probably his floor in this matchup against the worst run defense in the league at 8.5. Tevin Coleman at 5'4" against Cleveland. Like I said, Cleveland's secondary is decent, but they give it up to the run. So expect Tevin to make his value at 5'4". Keenan Allen in one of the highest totals of the week against Oakland. He's got a great history versus this secondary. Expect Keenan Allen to get a ton of targets, and at 7-1, I love him. I talked about Cleveland's secondary, but that does not concern me with a guy like Julio Jones at 8'3". When it comes to safety, this is as safe as you can get. One of the as safe as you can get. This guy is going to get a ton of targets. He's going to get over 100 yards. Those are two things we know, okay? And Julio Jones at 8'3", man, I love him in this game. Adam Humphries is value at 3'9", pairing up with my boy Ryan Fitzpatrick, one of my favorite value plays of the weekend. Absolutely love this kid. He's been getting peppered with targets the last 2 weeks. Plug him in at 3'9" in an amazing matchup. Vernon Davis taking advantage of this Tampa Bay defense. Absolutely love my boy Vernon. He's been getting some targets in this offense, and at only 2'8", I don't need much out of him for him to return value. If he gets a touchdown, I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. So that, including all his targets he's going to get in this one, I love it. Duke Johnson at 4'7". Finally, they got rid of the coach who didn't know how to utilize Duke Johnson, and this new coach came in and was like, you know what, Duke, you go out there and you just run around, and our quarterback's going to figure out how to get you the ball. And that's exactly what they did, man. And at 4'7", Duke Johnson, the type of guy, especially with Draftkings being PPR, thank you, Jesus. I'm locking him in at the flex position. I think he has a huge game here against Atlanta. And the Jets defense against Buffalo, no need to explain. Thank you guys for watching, as always. I'm sorry if you're a Buffalo fan, and I just make it that easy for you when it comes to the defense, but we just know it is what it is, man. You guys, you have a good future coming ahead of you. One day you're going to be all good. But right now, you suck, okay? Thank you guys for watching. As always, go to greenlightdfs.com to join the squad. And I'm out. Follow me on Twitter, at CamATL. Comment anything in the comment section. Like the video. And now I'm out. Bye.